Well, good evening and welcome to Kingston Park, a wind and rain billowed stadium up in Newcastle for this evening's fair in Rugby League. It is, of course, the IPRO Sports Cup Round 1, which involves the hosts Newcastle Thunder with 4 brand new internationals amid 10 new signings making their debut today, against Leigh Miners Rangers, for whom 2015 was certainly a watershed season. It was a fantastic occasion for everyone involved at the club as they carried off an unprecedented treble. Thunder come into this game on the back of some friendly fire, you can say. They've lost most of their encounters in friendlies. As I mentioned, a brand new side put together by Mick Mantelli, the new coach in charge here down at Kingston Park. For Leigh Miners Rangers, Alan Coleman has taken sole charge, and this is how his Miners Rangers side lines up tonight. It's Andrew Groves at fullback. It's a backline of Gareth Payne, Conor Ratcliffe, Lee Gittins and Harry Gagan. It's a half-back pairing of Tom Farriman and Scott O'Brien, if you can hear me above the tannoy system here. It's a front row of Martin Gray, Jordan Hill and Darryl Kay. A back row of Tommy Parkinson, Mick O'Boyle and Mark Nicholson. A bench of Gary Gittins, Ellis Grimes, Chris Mayron and Chris Bower. For the Thunder, they line up at fullback Tom Rudiger. On the wings this evening it's Joe Brown and former England international Peter Fox. In the centres, Daryl Alforts alongside Dan Parker. At halfback it's Aaron Turoe alongside Ben Hardcastle. And in the front row it's Cook Islands international Vincent Rennie, Craig Cook at hooker and Reece Clark, who is a Geordie who has been around the championship. In the back row it's Harry Aldos, Lee Patterson, Sam Luckley and a bench of Evan Simmons, Fran Welsh, Josh Kittrick and Craig Boot. We still wait the arrival of our teams coming out onto the field. And it sounds like I'm going to be doing a bit of a battling event this evening with the tannoy system here, which is set as if you'd expect a big Rugby Union Premiership crowd to be in attendance instead of the hardy band of maybe 200, 250 on the far side. So to tell you a little bit about these new players as far as Newcastle Thunder are concerned, they're led by fullback Tom Rudiger, who scored 21 tries last year for the Queanbeyan Blues, who play in the Canberra competition. Peter Fox, of course, no stranger to the top flight. He represented Wakefield and Hull Kingston Rovers in a lengthy Super League career that also yielded England caps. He scored 11 tries in 21 games for Doncaster last year. Daryl Alforts, well, he started life with Dewsbury, played 22 games for Hemel Hempstead last season and scored 7 tries for the Stags. Dan Parker was the top point scorer last year at Coventry, where he scored 7 tries and 34 goals. Joe Brown is a Jamaican international. He scored 4 tries last season. Ben Hardcastle was the top point scorer down here at Newcastle last year with 7 tries and 41 goals. And Leigh Miners Rangers come out onto the field led by their skipper Scott O'Brien. So can the boys from the amateur game do it? Can they test the Thunder this evening? Things warming up as far as Miners Rangers are concerned ahead of the start of their season. And now Thunder come out onto the field, resplendent in a black and white shirt with a purple chevron across the chest. Miners in yellow and black, the traditional colours of the club. Our referee is Stephen Race. He's decked out in red this afternoon. And we're almost ready for the kick-off, so it's going to be Scott O'Brien to get us underway. The whistle sounds and away we go. So Scott O'Brien kicks us off. It's allowed to bounce by Thunder, taken in by Aaron Teroe. And straight away down the ground in the form of Vincent Rennie. Fairly quick play of the ball. Craig Cook switches the ball down the left-hand side to Patterson, and Leigh Patterson has managed to pick out a couple of Miners players who were just caught in an offside position. So early doors, the first penalty of the game going the way of Newcastle Thunder. And they find a good touch as well, just over the halfway line. Artificial pitch put down here now at Kingston Park. Clark plays it into the middle. It was spilled. Oh, it's gone to ground off Clark. And it was a big error there, to be honest, by Vincent Rennie, who's a big man. Played in the under-20s for Melbourne Storm. Also represented the Cook Islands. He's one of their 4 or 5 internationals that they've got on show this evening. Early stages of this game, less than a minute in. Miners Rangers have first use of possession as far as they're concerned. And the court, it's Connor Ratcliffe put down in the middle of the field, about 30 metres away from his line. Forward crashes Daryl Kay. Kay put down about 8 metres away from the halfway line. Out it switched to the left hand side where Farriman drops it back for the strong running of Tommy Parkinson, who certainly impressed in the Challenge Cup games last season for Leigh Miners Rangers. Impressed all season, to be honest. Still in possession, Leigh Miners Rangers crashing their way through to 40 metres away from the home side's line. A little duck and dummy forward by Jordan Hill. The last run was taken in by Mark Nicholson. It's brought to the right-hand side where Scott O'Brien takes them on, kicks it over the top. Oh, he's kicked it again, and it just bounces up in favour of Newcastle Thunder, who return it with just a little bit of interest there. Sam Luckley, the young second rower, managing to clean up and pick up the pieces there. Next, the run is taken in by Peter Fox, former England international, getting 30 metres away from his own line. Quick play the ball too. And it's out on the right-hand side, and running is Joe Brown, that Jamaican international like I touched upon before. Thunder 40 metres away from their own line. Craig Cook takes it right, and that's some solid running down that channel as well. And they've won a further penalty here, holding down the decision. So second penalty of the game goes the way of Newcastle Thunder. Ben Hardcastle will be the man to try and dump it into touch down that right-hand side. We've been going for 2.5 minutes, still 0-0 here. If you're just joining coverage, we're here at Kingston Park. This is the IPRO Sports Cup Round 1 encounter between Newcastle Thunder and Leigh Miners Rangers, the best of the amateur game, taking on the side that finished, I think he was 7th in League 1 last season. And straight away they're coming down the left hand side. That's good link-up play involving Patterson, and linking up there was Rudiger, the full-back. And they're about 5 metres away from the try line. Craig Cook scheming, dummies, ducks forward, spinning, twisting, stretching for the line. He's been held up. In fact, he's just short of that mark. Now to Roy, brings it to the right-hand side. Hardcastle chucks a couple of dummies, but the tacklers pile in and they bring him down 2 metres out from the line. Craig Cook again, this time whizzes it left. Poor passing, poor skills there from Newcastle Thunder. Good defence from Leigh Miners Rangers as they moved up to snuff out the danger, and they've now picked up the pieces through Connor Ratcliffe, who ran it about 15 out from his own line. Now Martin Gray takes a big carry through the middle, takes an even bigger tackle as well from that man Vincent Rennie. Gareth Payne, the next runner from Leigh Miners Rangers, had a great season last year, did Gareth. Now 30 metres away from their own line here, our Miners Rangers is Nicholson. Does well to evade the challenge of the first man who came up, which was that man Vincent Rennie. Eventually tackled 40 metres from his own line. Slow play the ball, but Jordan Hill gets rid of it down the left, but it's knocked on there by O'Brien, who kicks it for the touchline. Mistake from O'Brien. Not really what Leigh Miners Rangers were wanting at the end of the set. It's still 0-0, and Newcastle Thunder looking to take possession. 4 minutes of the game gone here in the northeast, where thankfully the wind and billowing rain seems to have deserted us for now. It's still a cool night though, as one would expect in mid to late February. So Newcastle Thunder have the ball. It's Teroe out the back to Rudiger. Rudiger gets the ball out but then kicks it forward. Fox goes after it. Fox dabs it forward again, but the referee deems that there was a knock on there. Our referee again, Mr. Race from Wakefield, and Newcastle Thunder having their own race with the ball there. Mistake it was from Dan Parker. as I mentioned, one of the main strike players for Coventry last season in League One. So, Miners Rangers have the put in at the scrum. They got the ball back, and taking the first drive is Leigh. Great to see him back. He's had a horrible last couple of years trying to put together his rugby league career, and putting together a good run there is Daryl Kay up to the halfway line. 0-0 in this one, early doors. Leigh Miners Rangers take it down the left-hand side. Tommy Parkinson is lurking. Tommy Parkinson is making the metres. That's great yardage from him. And he's inside the 40, and he plays it to Hill. And then it's linked with Nicholson. And then they're running cross-field, Leigh Miners. Nobody really running into any gaps there, but they've managed to get some 25 metres away from the line. Martin Great was there. Now Jordan Hill taking the run. Gets away from Patterson. Does well there. Goes again, does Jordan Hill, and he's inside the 20. He's about 15 metres shy of the try line. Last tackle signalled here. They're in centre field. Nicholson shuffles it left. Kick comes in from O'Brien. It's a good one. It's in behind the try line. Oh, I tell you what, that's so close to a try for Leigh Miners Rangers and just shuffled dead. I tell you what, Tom Rudiger was the uncomfortable man there. Very, very casual from the fullback, and just at the last minute, he dropped on it to scuff the ball dead. And it's going to be a dropout from under the post, but we've been going for 6 minutes in this game. 0-0 the score. Dropout under the post comes in. It's a lengthy one from Hardcastle. Clears the halfway line. Kay's underneath it. Kay picks his spot at the line. Runs it back. Makes 12, 13, 14 metres before being met. And it's a good tackle. First up by Sam Luckley. Down the centre of the ground, Leigh Miners Rangers. It comes through Gareth Payne. Ran it in on his own. Takes the big tackle as well. It was a good tackle from Adam Turoe. Oh, and then he's deemed to have knocked on. He's Gareth Payne as he was trying to get up quickly to play it. So, other than an early half chance from Fox where the ball seemed to go forward from Dan Parker anyway, very few chances thus far. 7 minutes of the game gone. If you're joining me on mixler.com/Leigh Centurions, you're very, very welcome this evening. And do tell your friends. We'd like to have a little bit more input this evening. Certainly that's good defence from Leigh Miners Rangers. They took Lee Patterson down. Really comfortable tackle there on the former Scotland man. And again, it's good. First up defence from Miners. Pushing up hard on the left-hand side. Farriman completing the tackle. That's good running down that right-hand side by Newcastle, though, but a very, very poor play the ball there. And indeed, it's a knock-on from Daryl Alforts. But he's injected himself into that line a couple of times down that right-hand side. He certainly looks like a player to look out for. Tough running. But immediately they've got to go back on defensive duties again of Newcastle Thunder. They haven't really been able to put much together so far. Leigh Miners Rangers have had a couple of sets completed themselves now. As it goes out to O'Brien. O'Brien finds Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe trying to run round on the outside. Links with Harry Gagan. Gagan straightens up. Takes on Dan Parker. Parker puts him down. 15 metres made on that carry though. And now Mick O'Boyle runs and takes on Parker, who takes him down around the ball area. Jordan Hill runs from dummy half. 30 metres to go to the try line. Martin Great is all held up. We've got rugby union markings on the field, thanks to the game that was played before. Here's O'Brien, shuffles it left. Oh, that's brilliant running from Tommy Parkinson. And he links it to Scott O'Brien, but O'Brien couldn't take it in. And on the zero play, they've kicked it long here. Somebody needs to drop on it, Miners Rangers. Oh, it's been kicked back again. Harry Gagan eventually does drop on it. And there's a penalty which goes against Groves. Offside was Andrew Groves. So it gives a chance to Newcastle Thunder, and to be honest, they didn't have to work too hard for it. That's not really what you want, as Ryan Clark takes the first up hit. Gains about 10 metres as well. He's moved right, and forward crossing now is Harry Aldous, the former Hull and York man. The 30 metres away from the try line. It's out with Daryl Alforts, who brushes away from 2. Gets inside that 22, as it is marked out with the rugby union lines. He plays it to Craig Cook, and Cook shuffles it into the middle where Hardcastle plays it at the front man, who was Vincent Rennie, but Rennie puts the ball down. He's come with a couple of mistakes as Rennie early does. 10 minutes of the game gone. 0-0 here. Miners Rangers holding firm at the moment. Newcastle Thunder having a couple of sets in good ball position, but not really being able to fashion much on the back of it. As I mentioned, I think there's 10 debutants this evening for Newcastle Thunder. A couple of players dropping out of action, unfortunately, in the later stages of the build-up to this game for Leigh Miners Rangers, but they're certainly giving their all at the moment. And forward now runs Lee Gittins to clear that 22. He'll play it to Jordan Hill. Hill dummies, takes it through the middle. Great run from Jordan Hill. He's up to the 40. Lovely little run. And the penalty goes the way of Leigh Miners Rangers. This time it was Newcastle Thunder who were guilty of holding down. So 11 minutes of this game gone. First penalty of the game to Leigh Miners Rangers, and it's dumped into touchdown that left hand side. Jordan Hill will tap. He's got Kay running alongside him, and Kay takes the carry, and it's got good second effort going. He made a good 5 or 6 metres after impact there. Eventually Ryan Clark wrestling him down to the ground. Next they take it again through that middle through Mark Nicholson. Good run from Nicholson up to the 22. Hill out to Farryman. Farryman taking the line on. Half break from him. Pulled one of his own men out of the way as well in Mick O'Boyle. And he'll play it 15 out from the try line. O'Brien plays it out the back to Groves. Groves straightened up. Ooh, I tell you what, that was a great hit which came in there. I'm just checking who it was. I think it was Parker who came in from his centre position. Lofted pass to the middle. Finds Scott O'Brien. O'Brien was trying to be a little bit clever. Just drop it back for support. Never really had control of the ball. And Newcastle Thunder have recovered through Vincent Rennie. And now they're trying to bring it out from their own end. But it's still 0-0 in this one. IPRO Sports Cup action via mixler.com/Leigh Centurions. 0-0 at the moment. And forward they come now. Do the hosts from Newcastle. Clark brushing his way forward, getting it towards the halfway line. Plays it quickly. Vincent Rennie then links it with a middleman, a fellow middleman running through. He's just over the halfway line, but he's going nowhere. That was a good tackle from Jordan Hill. Kick goes up in the air now from Ben Hardcastle. Gareth Payne comes for it. He plays it. It's knocked on. It's then picked up again here. And Alphonse will go over for Newcastle Thunder. And what a calamitous way to potentially open the scoring, although the touch judge on the far side had stood his ground. Was there potentially a man in front of the kicker? This hasn't been given yet. Doesn't look like he is going to be given either. And Alford sees his effort wiped out. So there's a penalty the way of Leigh Miners Rangers. Kick goes to touch from the Miners Rangers. They're somewhere in the region of 35 metres away from their own line as the tap is taken by Jordan Hill. Running into a gap is Tommy Parkinson. That's massive running again down that left hand side. Parkinson is key to the performance of Leigh Miners Rangers tonight, as is this fellow Darryl Kay, who gets over the halfway line. Wrestled down by 2. The big fella coming in over the top was Vincent Rennie. Miners Rangers again take the ball down the left hand side. I think that might be Chris Boer in possession there. It is. And he'll play it. 14 minutes in, 0-0 the score. And then just tried to pick the pace of the game up. Martin Gray was after a quick play of the ball, but unfortunately it was a little bit scrappy, a little bit scruffy. Knock on ensues. And 0-0 is the score still. So Thunder thinking that they'd opened the scoring just a couple of minutes ago through Darryl Alforts. He seemed to pick up the pieces from Gareth Payne and go through, but he was in an offside position and the penalty went the way of Leigh Miners Rangers, who unfortunately themselves couldn't make the most of it. So 0-0 in this IPRO Sports Cup action that's been ongoing for 15 minutes.
North Wales Crusaders here at Kingston Park on the 13th of March.
So we've just got a short delay whilst one of the Thunder players is having his face put back together. He's going to be okay to continue though. Tough players, these rugby league people, and the scrum is fed. Rudiger gets out rid of the ball at the back of the scrum. Running up was Parker. Parker's tackled. He'll play it to Rudiger. Rudiger throws a dummy, then decides to cut down the right hand side, but he's caught. Oh, good tackling as well. Daryl Kay, Tommy Parkinson. The meat in the sandwich was the Newcastle man there. And here's Ryan Clark, a man who's seen time in the Championship with both York and Whitehaven. He's tackled just inside his own half as Craig Cutt brings it down the right hand side. Links with Ben Hardcastle, who found a little bit of support alongside him. Over the halfway line cross Thunder. And the build-up play is quite good from Thunder. And then Sam Luckley has it. And he's put down some 35 metres from the Leigh Miners line. Kick comes in from Ben Hardcastle to complete the set. It's a good kick as well. It's a deep one. It bobbles just in front of Andrew Groves, who picks up and returns the ball a couple of metres. But it was good defence coming in from Darryl Alforts in particular. And Gareth Payne, blimey, that was a brave run. And certainly one that he'll feel pain from afterwards because he got battered. He smashed 5 metres from his own line. Next it's run in by Gittins. Great to see him back. Scored a try against Underbank the other week on his return to first team action for Leigh Miners Rangers. And Martin Gray disappears quickly underneath that latest challenge. Miners Rangers still inside their own 20 metre line. Forward comes Jordan Hill, but he's caught just on the other side of the line. And the kick comes in to complete the set from Scott O'Brien. It's a long one, taken by the long-haired fullback Rudiger. Oh, he split the defence. He's gone here, you know, Rudiger. He's taking on Groves. He's got Groves on the outside. And this will be the opening try for Newcastle Thunder. And what a try it was as well when it came. Rudiger got it somewhere in the region of 50, 60 metres away from the try line. Danced his way past one defender. And I tell you what, set sail for that try line. That's why he scored 21 tries last season in the Canberra competition. And it's 4-0 in favour of Newcastle Thunder. Comes 17.5 minutes in. So Rudiger there, showing that he's going to be a man to watch in League One competition this season. Scoring quite a spectacular try there, half the length of the field. 4-0 in favour of Thunder. Kick to come now from Ben Hardcastle. 41 goals for him last season. Kenny had his first goal points of 2016. 18 minutes gone in this game. 4-0 in favour of the hosts here at Kingston Park. It's Saturday night rugby league at its finest. So Hardcastle has this opportunity. Can he put it between the posts? He's only about 15 metres in from the touchline. He's faced a study of concentration. And he's whizzed that right across the face of them. He's gone closer to hitting the corner flag than he did the post, to be fair. But 4-0 is how it remains. Still, it doesn't take away a spectacular opening score from Tom Rudiger. I tell you what, that's going to settle a few nerves for Thunder because they were looking quite good in the build-up, but not really being able to put any end product together. So that's the first time that we've seen any sort of end product. And the professionals lead by 4-0. So Miners Rangers get us underway again. It's a mid-range restart, which brings up in front of Hardcastle, who launches and supporting runner back at the defence. And straight away into the challenge is Daryl Kay. Good tackle as well. And forward come Thunder again. They're quick on the recoil down that right hand side. That's certainly what I've noticed in this opening 15-20 minutes as we've been going on. And there's Sam Luckley. Loose forward, plays it quickly just his side of the halfway line. Alforts runs it in too. Really looks an athlete as well, does Darryl Alfords. Craig Cook ducks over to dummy half, tried to be a bit clever, ball goes loose. Referee seems to be playing on there, but it's come up in favour of Gareth Payne. Just for a second he had a bit of open pasture in front of him. The referee is bringing him back though. And what's the decision here? He's giving the scrum in favour of Leigh Miners Rangers. Why didn't he play on? There seemed to be a mistake which came in from Thunder, but I think the referee's whistle had already sounded, so maybe that's why we're resulting in this scrum. 4 points to 0 in favour of Thunder in this game. Some 20 minutes gone, and Leigh Miners Rangers holding their own, holding firmly. They could do with a bit of field position though. Can they gain it in this next set? Well, certainly runs like that will help from Conor Ratcliffe. It was tough, it was strong, and they're over the 20-metre line, and then they've said something out of turn here of Leigh Miners Rangers. I mean, penalised, ball in hand, so it means that Newcastle Thunder have their third penalty of the game, just 22 metres away from the try line. It's not really what the Miners Rangers wanted. Forward comes Patterson, playing in the left second row today, can also play at least forward. He's now 15 metres away from the try line. It comes to the middle and to Roy. He gets away to Hardcastle. It's out with Rudiger to Alfords. Alfords down the right hand side has slipped it out, and Joe Brown has put it down. Leigh Miners Rangers have picked up Tommy Parkinson on the counter, and he's got it 15 metres away from his line, 5 metres away from touch as well. It's going to be run further down the ground now by Gareth Payne. Certainly does a fine job on the wing for Leigh Miners Rangers. Gareth Payne doesn't cross for too many tries, but digs in and really helps his forwards, which is just what Miners Rangers are trying to do now. Use the forwards to come away from their own end. Darrell Kay with that latest run. Now O'Brien releases the ball to Martin Gray, who emerges to the other side of a couple of defenders who were stern in front of him. Patterson was one of them. It's out on the right hand side, but the ball put down by Mick O'Boyle. Well, it was perfectly set up there as well from Jordan Hill, so these turnovers not really doing Miners much credit at the moment. Forward come Thunder, 25 metres away from the try line, with Craig Cook, who uses his number 8 stern strong running by Craig Boot. Then it's out on the right hand side with Hardcastle, who dummies a couple of times, gets an offload away. Back to Craig Cook, who finds Clark, who finds that man Craig Boot again, who's put down 15 metres out from the try line. Play the ball comes in, it's on the left hand side to Patterson. Patterson goes for the line and he's held up. There's 3 players on him. Good defence there from Leigh Miners Rangers. Was a little bit scrappy at one point, but they got there in numbers in the end. To Roy, gets the ball away to Clark. Clark at the side of the post, put down 2 metres short. Thunder up by 4 points here. They've got to the end of the set. Hardcastle whips it out to Rudiger. Rudiger puts the kick in, and Miners Rangers have dropped on it. Thought it was good defence that, but the referee, via his touch judge, has spotted a little knock on here. So the scrum down will go in favour of Newcastle Thunder, and Leigh Miners Rangers under a bit of pressure with 23.5 minutes of the game gone. 4 points to 0 in favour of the Thunder. Peter Fox comes across to this left hand side to hug his touchline. Now to Roy, plays it out the back to Rudiger, on to Parker. Parker's held though, good tackling by Scott O'Brien. Rudiger runs from dummy half. Just looked like he was set for an angled run and then straightened it up right into the knees of the tackling player, which was Bower. Out the back it's played to Hardcastle on the right hand side now with Clark. Clark hold down 2 metres short of the try line. Good test of Miners defence this at the moment. Craig Cook brings it down the right hand side, and they're going to go in here, the Newcastle Thunder. That is a good try. He's managed to force his way over on that right hand side, and I think it's Harry Aldous who's scoring. Certainly managed to just get in there for Thunder's second try from close range. 24 minutes of the game gone, and you get a feeling that was coming, in fairness. So Harry Aldous, once upon a time of York, that's where he played last season, so he came up against Leigh Miners Rangers on the famous cup run. Opens up his Thunder account on his debut. Second debut try this evening so far for the hosts. 8 points to 0 in favour of them. So we await the goal kicking attempt from Hardcastle again. But you had a feeling that was coming. They were putting plenty of pressure on there, starting to get a few sets back to back on that minors line. It's only been breached twice though in 25 minutes. Full credit to Leigh Miners Rangers thus far. And Hardcastle puts it towards the goal, but it doesn't go through the middle, so the scoreline remains 8 points to 0 in favour of the hosts.
Leigh score -1 from the 8 for your Newcastle Thunder!
I'm just looking as well, Ellis Grimes has gone out there as well, the man who scored the winning try last season to secure the grand final. What a way to end the season that was, when Miners Rangers defeated Siddle 22-20 in the final. O'Brien has called for his kicking tee to come out. And we're just a few seconds from getting this game back underway. 8 points to 0 is the score. O'Brien keeps his kick low, which bounces up to Patterson. Patterson decides to take the run in himself, and Harry Gagan brings him down with a little bit of assistance there from Connor Ratcliffe inside his own 22. Next the run is taken in by Fran Welsh. And across to the middle, well, Luckley's there to take it forward further up to the 40-metre line. Darrell Kay with a good tackle. Tommy Parkinson also involved. Hardcastle completes the set with a solid kick downfield, which is fielded just inside his own 20-metre line by Andrew Groves, who returns it with a little bit of interest, about 5 or 6 metres gain there from Groves, who jumps up and plays the ball. The touch judge has spotted something on the far side. Groves goes in and has a quick word with the referee himself. And the referee, who is Stephen Race from Wakefield, takes a little call from his touch judge and gives Leigh Miners Rangers the penalty. So 3-all on the penalty count, 8-0 on the scoreboard to Thunder. Chance for Leigh Miners Rangers. They've reached the halfway line with that kick. Jordan Hill to tap it. Tap it he does. Forward comes Boer. Chris Boer makes it to the 40-metre line inside the Thunder half, and they go down the left hand side with Parkinson. That's great running again. Oh, I tell you what, he gained a good 12 metres there. Plays it ever so quickly, and Darrell Kay is the next one to test out the Thunder defence, and he's gone inside the 22. Hill to the middle, and Farrimond, who links with O'Brien. O'Brien, short ball there for Conor Ratcliffe, who did well to cling on. Stopped 10 metres from the try line. Good tackle Parker. O'Brien at dummy half, feeds it to the middle. Here's Ellis Grimes. Grimes is stopped about 7 metres from the try line. Last tackle signalled here. Chance here for Miners Rangers. It's O'Brien. O'Brien steps. He's gone the last tackle. He comes all the way left. Kicks it over the top. He chases after this kick himself. And Hardcastle, well, he's batted that somewhere into the middle. And Newcastle, I think, almost cleared the top of the stand with that clearance kick, which goes dead, and it's forced to drop out. That was great work, to be honest, there from Scott O'Brien. Really did pull out all the stops, all the tricks in the book there to try and come up with something there for Leigh Miners Rangers, who trail by 8 points to 0. Certainly not out of this game. Certainly Thunder know they've been in the game. Can Miners put some pressure on now? So drop out from under the sticks by Hardcastle. Up to the halfway line. Racing back into contact is Boer. Good charge as well. Really did take on Aaron Taroe, who's started life with the Melbourne Storm team under 20s. And Ellis Grimes works his way to that 22 now for Leigh Miners Rangers in the centre of the ground. Options out left. That's where Jordan Hill runs. Links with Darrell Kay. Kay falls to the challenge. 15 metres to go to the try line. Leigh Miners Rangers looking dangerous on the left. O'Brien out to Farrimond. Further wide to Gittins. Gittins is caught though. Good defence from Alforts down that side. And across to the middle it's O'Brien. He drops it back for Craig Boer to have another big bowling run at them. And that's exactly what Boer comes up with. He's 2 metres away from the try line. Last tackle signalled. And Jordan Hill kicks it forward. Tell you what, there was a real chance there, but the ball just threaded through, beats everybody, and Thunder will come out to the 20-metre line to tap. And to be fair, they're not in any rush to get this game tapped and back underway. They were making a couple of substitutions. So tap taken, and it's Peter Fox with the run. I haven't mentioned him too often in commentary so far this evening. And the former England international goes down underneath that two-man minus tackle, led by Jordan Hill. Daryl Elforts is the next one down. What a brilliant hit there from Tommy Parkinson. They're 40 metres out from their own line here. Thunder trying to play the way out of danger. Patterson gets it out to Parker. Parker saw there was nothing doing. Comes back on the inside. O'Brien tries to get in there and rip the ball from him, but a couple of men join the fray, which means that Parker will stand and play it on the halfway line. Quick play the ball. That look forward down the left-hand side. They're still playing on here, Thunder. And Rudiger eventually goes down 5 metres from the touchline. About 40 metres out from the try line. Infield it's moved. And once again they have a go through Craig Boot. Last tackle here. Thunder move the ball left. Aaron Turoy gets a kick over the top. Harry Gagan collects it for Leigh Miners Rangers. Takes on Rudiger and gets out to his 22-metre line. 8 points to 0 in favour of the Thunder. 31 and a half minutes gone. They're still battling away here, Leigh Miners, still really in the game. And it's now running by Gittins. Brave run from Leigh Gittins. Scrappy pass, which eventually reaches O'Brien, who stands the defence up well and then has to take the challenge. There was nothing doing, and as a result they're only 30 metres away from their own line here. But Parkinson has other ideas. Good run again. Gains 10, 15 metres with that carry, and they're put down near the halfway line. Last tackle signalled. Hill pushes it left. Farriman gets rid of it in the end. Hill gets a kick away. He's aimed for the touchline. It's a good kick as well. It's threaded its way down the touchline and finds a good touch inside the 22. So 7.5 minutes away from half time. Miners Rangers sticking with their more illustrious professional opponents this evening. Professional opponents that can name 4 or 5 internationals amongst their ranks. They've defended well of Leigh Miners Rangers. Can they force an error here? Not on that particular occasion. Craig Boot with the run from the base of the scrum. Rudiger. Long pass out to Patterson on the left hand side. He tries to work his way forward. 2 players collide and bring him down. Now Parker running down the left. Looks dangerous every time he has it. Put down on the halfway line. Referee tells him to get up. Into the middle it comes with Craig Boot. And then to Roy. He's put down. Next run is taken in by Fran Welsh. Good run as well from Welsh. Last tackle signalled here. Referee's patience holding. There's hands in and all sorts. It's with Turoy. Turoy gets his kick away. It's only as far as Harry Gagan, who cuts it off. Starts the counter-attack for Leigh Miners Rangers. Oh, he's hacked his way into a gap there. He's up to the 22. Quick play, the ball comes into Groves. Groves switches it left to Gareth Payne. Payne tests them out, takes on Alforts. Alforts brings him down. Next it's Gittins running forward from dummy half, tries to get between defenders. Miners Rangers 40 metres out from their own line, trailing by 8 points to 0. Just the 2 tries in this game so far. Parkinson deserves a try for his efforts, and another fine run brings him to the halfway line. Here's O'Brien. O'Brien completes the set with a kick into the corner. I tell you what, that was inches away from being the perfect kick. It looked like it was going to stand up in the in-goal area and then just suddenly trickled over the sideline, and it means there's a tap on the 20. Here's Peter Fox. Fox jumps out of a couple of tackles, goes back for another go. O'Brien gets in and slows him down, and eventually it's Daryl Kay and company who do stop him. Kay goes in again, Alforts, but Alforts gets round him. Gets round another couple as well. He's still going Alforts, and he's put down on the halfway line. Quick play the ball too. And here's Joe Brown, the Jamaican international. They visibly picked up the pace this last 20-30 seconds here of Newcastle Thunder. Miners Rangers doing well to hold on, but holding on a little bit too long for the referee's liking, and it's Newcastle who win a penalty, the 4th penalty that they have won in this first half. First half that's now 35 minutes old. Kick goes to touch from Hardcastle, and all of a sudden Newcastle Thunder 15 metres away from the try line. Tap to be taken. Forward come the hosts, just 5 metres out from the try line. Simmons to the middle is Hardcastle, takes on the defence again. He's maybe done that once or twice too often. The Miners Rangers defence certainly moved up and smashed him there. Next it's Fran Welsh. Fran Welsh bowling his way through. And they've scored at the side of the post. That's just what Miners Rangers didn't need just before the break. But that was a well-constructed try there in the end. And just too big and powerful close to the try line.
Charging Newcastle Thunder, squared by number 8, Fran Welsh.
Just out of interest, I know that score has been scored by Fran Welsh. He's down to 16 on the team sheet. So 12 points to nil in favour of the hosts. Make that 14 points to nil. Ben Hardcastle successful with his 3rd attempt on goal. And that's now 14 points to nil in favour of the hosts.
Trying to play by players number 23, Ben Hardcastle. Ben sponsored by Neil and Christine.
So although Miners Rangers trail by 14 points to nil here, about 2.5 minutes from the break, they've given a good account of themselves. It would have been nice for them to have got over the try line just before when they were piling on the pressure. Certainly not out of this one by any stretch of the imagination, given their all this evening, as we've come to expect. O'Brien, tricky restart, fielded on the full by Aaron Turoy. He moves the ball down the left-hand side to the try-scorer Welsh, who plays it to Evan Simmons. And now Peter Fox with the run, 40 metres from his own line. Oh, that was a pass that went just behind Dan Parker, and he had to reach back for it. Took it well in the end, but it took the sting out of his run, meant that Conor Ratcliffe could get up to close him down. And now that's what the defence does on the Thunder player Craig Boot. Is Vincent Rennie moving the ball down the right hand side. Good running though by Harry Aldous. He's lost the ball, but it's going to be a penalty against Leigh Miners Rangers. Hands in. So Newcastle will have their 5th penalty. That's an unfortunate one, that one. Hardcastle bangs it into touch down that right hand side. Can they come up with a 4th try before the break? Can Leigh Miners Rangers hold them at bay? Tap taken. Forward they come to Newcastle Thunder. It was the man Vincent Rennie. Now they're moving it to the middle with Hardcastle. On to Turoy. Turoy is tackled. Simmons down the left to Rudiger. The defence brings him down. Good tackle there, Chris Boer, I should say. Moved up and smashed him. Turoy to the right hand side. And there's Rennie, but the defence was waiting of him. Can they close him down? No, they can't. Quick play, the ball comes in from Vincent Rennie, and diving through was Evan Simmons. It's just what Leigh Miners Rangers didn't need before the break. It's just conversely what Newcastle Thunder needed. A 4th try which comes. Evan Simmons, the man who dived his way through.
Scored by number 25, Evan Simon.
So 18 points to nil is the score. This from Hardcastle to make it 20 points to nil at the break. So Hardcastle converts. 2 more points are hosted. And it is 20 points to nil in favour of the hosts at the break. 4 tries scored in total. Tom Rudiger scoring in the first after 17 minutes. The next coming from Alan Duss after 24 minutes. And then we saw 2 tries in the space of 5 minutes. Fran Welsh and Evan Simmons scoring just before the break. It is 20 points to nil at half time here. And join us for the second half. Hello and welcome back to Kingstone Park, where it's Newcastle Thunder 20, Leigh Miners Rangers 0 at half time in the IPRO Sports Cup round 1 encounter. And it's the hosts who scored 4 tries in that first half. Leigh Miners Rangers with all to do, but 2 of those tries coming in the last 3 minutes of play. Up until that stage, 8 points to nil was possibly a fairer reflection, but Newcastle Thunder certainly showing a clinical edge at the end of the half to take it out by 20 points to nil. Miners Rangers have had the heroes this evening so far in the form of Jordan Hill, who's done really well at hooker, Darryl Kay, who's never stopped going, and particularly Tommy Parkinson, who has been outstanding down the left hand side. We just await the shrill little whistle of our referee to get us underway and just make sure everybody's ready, and the anticlimax comes as the ball falls off the kicking tee. So let's hope that we get a better showing from the Miners in the second half. Thunder go for a mid-range restart. Underneath that is Scott O'Brien. He finds Chris Boer. Boer runs it back into contact and he's put down 15 metres away from his own line. Been up and running for just a few seconds as Harry Gagan drives beyond the 20 metre line. Good solid surge as well from Gagan. Another one that didn't do badly in that first half. Next the run is taken in by Ellis Grimes. Fairly quick play the ball. There's Jordan Hill. Thinks he's picked out a penalty and has. So 5-3 were our penalties to Newcastle at half time. Leigh Miners Rangers with the first of the second half, and it's measured kick to touch. Gained about 15 metres there. Tap to be taken by Hill. And he turns it inside looking for O'Brien, who in turn finds number 19, Gary Gittins. Gittins to play the ball back to Hill, who finds O'Brien. O'Brien works it left, and here's Tom Farrimond, who finds some support. There's Leigh Gittins taking it on forward. Good defence as well there by Rudiger, the fullback, who's certainly been one of the standouts. Alforts was also there, but that's really well worked by Jordan Hill, who managed to dummy his way over. And that is the first try of the evening for Leigh Miners Rangers. Really good pick and play there from Jordan Hill, and that's just what they got. They got a fractured line down the left-hand side. It was some brilliant running, to be honest, by Leigh Gittins. Quick play the ball, and Jordan Hill's efforts have deserved that this evening. He's been excellent out of dummy half. That try comes a minute and a half into the new half, and it puts Leigh Miners Rangers on the board. 20 points to 4 with the kick to come. So that was really constructive there from Leigh Miners Rangers. Tom Farrimond doing his first share down that left-hand side as well. And Miners Rangers on the board. 20 points to 4. This kick to come from Scott Scott O'Brien has this conversion attempt. He's about 8 metres in from touch. The perfect start to the second half for Leigh Miners Rangers. And it's an unfortunate miss there from Scott O'Brien, just going a bit wide with his kick to goal. So 20 points to 4 is how it remains. So Jordan Hill, the man who danced his way through, excellent run there. So 20 points to 4. Up it goes in the air from 23, Ben Hardcastle. Oh, that defeated everybody. Hit the corner post, and it'll come out to the 20 metre. In fact, it's dead in goal, so it'll be a drop out from under the posts. I think someone had to point him in the right direction of the rule book there, though, as to what the restart was. 20 points to 4. Leigh Miners Rangers, unfortunately, making a bit of a mess of the restart, though, and hence is the drop out from under the posts. So Scott O'Brien certainly digs it out, and it goes about 35 metres upfield. Fran Welsh brings it back into contact. He was impressive in the first half. Crossfield try at the side of the posts. Next it's Leigh Patterson down the left hand side, former Scotland international, 15 metres out from the try line, plays it. Here it comes to Roy to Hardcastle, to Rudiger on the right hand side. In back, good defence there, Tom Farriman, good defence there from Gittins, certainly feeling the after effects, but they've run it forward from dummy half, and there's Alfort's crashing his way through. Really quick play of the ball, and Alfort's too big and strong on the right hand side to cross. So parity immediately restored, 24 points to 4 with the kick to come. What a start to the second half. 2 tries in the first 5 minutes though. Certainly opening up. Alfort's the man who scored it there. And to be honest, because of his play for much of the first half, it's probably no less than he deserves. So 24 points to 4 with the kick to come. Ben Hardcastle, 2 from 4 so far with the boot. Can he make it 3 from 5? He's got a quite difficult angle. He's taken this exactly 20 metres back from the posts. I can tell because they're on a greened out line here. So Hardcastle. Tell you what, he's a big lad for a half-back. Once upon a time played for Hunslet, did Ben Hardcastle. Also played time in Australia as well. Right-footed, swings the boot at it. It's wide of the post. The scoreline will remain 24 points to 4 here at Kingston Park. So far, so good for the hosts. Spirited efforts from Leigh Miners Rangers to get themselves on the board.
A reminder once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have your season tickets just yet, you can purchase them right away.
So Scott O'Brien stands the ball upon the stand, steps up, restarts, it's gone high up into the night sky. Leigh Miners Rangers underneath it, couldn't quite lay claim to it though. And as a result, Newcastle Thunder have dropped on it, but they've knocked on, and it's thrown away in disgust. So a chance here for Leigh Miners Rangers to respond.
3 weeks tomorrow.
Tom Farriman with the putting at the scrum.
Against the North Wales Crusaders.
If he's the scrum, it comes out at the back, but the referee wasn't happy with that scrum. They were a man short as well, Newcastle, to be fair. Alforts comes forward to complete it. Farriman goes again. Once more, the referee not too happy. 7 minutes of the second half gone. 24-4 is the score here. Out it's with O'Brien, who feeds it further wide on the right hand side to Connor Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe is held about 10 metres in from touch. 24-4 if you're just joining us. Leigh Miners Rangers opening the score in this second half through Jordan Hill. They're in possession now, 25 metres away from the line. Ellis Grimes plays it. Jordan Hill takes it down the right hand side where he links with Mick O'Boyle. O'Boyle's inside that 22, plays it back to Jordan Hill. Now Ellis Grimes throws it to the middle. Nobody's there. It's kicked forward by Tommy Parkinson though. Parkinson dribbles it forward again. He's won the race, you know. That was a bit of ingenuity there from Tommy Parkinson, and no more than he deserves. That's the second try of this half for Leigh Miners Rangers. Makes the score 24 points to 8. So Tommy Parkinson has popped up with that one.
Leigh Miners Rangers scored by number 11, Tom Parkinson.
It was really scrappy as the ball came out. Ellis Grimes released it to no one in particular. Tommy Parkinson got a boot on it, managed to tow it forward again, and won the race over the try line. He dribbled it over. In fact, I think that was maybe an oldie worldie rugby league try from back in the day where forwards used to have dribbling skills, but certainly that's been dribbled over the try line and dived upon by Tommy Parkinson. So it sets up this conversion attempt for Scott O'Brien, and all of a sudden Leigh Miners Rangers could be in double figures. So O'Brien tries to sweep it between the posts. It goes wide, so the scoreline remains 24 points to 8 now. That latest try coming 7 minutes into the second half. Certainly livened things up on a cold February evening here in Newcastle. Splendid setting here at the Kingston Park. Just a small smattering of support here this evening though, unfortunately, for the Rugby League. There was far more here for the earlier Rugby Union game. A Rugby Union game which actually meant that Leigh Miners Rangers had to get ready in a little room by the side of the bar area here at Kingston Park, so they didn't even have a proper changing facility. Anyway, putting that behind us, they've got us underway again. Oh, difficult restart taken in by Leigh Miners Rangers in the end, inside their own 20, but blimey, they played with danger there, and Scott O'Brien has it, and he's been held down, and there's been little rabbit punches thrown, and he's won the penalty. 5 out of the penalty count now.
After today's game, Mike Memphis is here. He's the Northeast tribute to Elvis.
Real chance for Leigh Miners Rangers to play their way out of danger again. Jordan Hill taps. They're starting this attack some 25-30 metres away from their own line here, Leigh Miners, so they've got a long way to go upfield, but certainly Mick O'Boyle's trying. The ball goes loose. It's eventually worked its way to Andrew Groves, and Groves is put down 45 metres from his own line. Jordan Hill awaits dummy half duties right in centre field, puts it left to Chris Boer, who rushes through a couple of ineffective tackles and makes a good 10 metres, but unfortunately he's knocked on. Well, they've been guilty of slowing the play of the ball down all the way through the game of Newcastle Thunder. They've got away with that delaying tactics there and jumping on the back of the man, and Chris Boer has spilled possession. 11 minutes of the second half gone, 24 points to 8 in this one. The IPRO Sports Cup. You're listening to coverage via mixler.com/Leigh Centurions. You're watching via Leigh Miners TV. So it's being moved down the left-hand side. There's Parker. Just thought for a second he was going to slip the ball out, but he decided to think better of it. Here's Peter Fox trying to forge an opening all of his own, but he's lost possession. And the referee has spotted a penalty there, and I'm not quite sure where he's got that one from. But it does mean that Newcastle Thunder have got a couple of penalties back-to-back. Newcastle kicking that ball to touch down this right hand side nearest to where I'm commentating from. Tap to be taken, and here's the big fella Vincent Rennie trucking his way inside the 22. He'll play this ball back to Evan Simons. Simons flicks it out. Good defence by Leigh Miners Rangers, just holding them up about 8 metres shy of the try line. Simons into dummy half again, throws it to the middle. They're going to burst over underneath the posts, and Vincent Rennie is the scorer. Well, he burst onto that like a train, to be honest. Vincent Rennie, the Cook Island international, and he went straight underneath the post. So that is another try for Newcastle Thunder. It moves the scoreline on to 28 points to 8. That try coming 52 minutes into the game. Good play from Evan Simons. Very sprightly around dummy half. And Vincent Rennie with the score. So Hardcastle right underneath the post. This to make it 30 points to 8. And the conversion is good. 3 from 6 now for Hardcastle. And it's Newcastle Thunder 30, Leigh Miners Rangers at 8.
QLS. And the try is converted by Thunder's number 23, Ben Hardcastle.
So the referee having lengthy deliberations here with Scott O'Brien, Miners Rangers skipper. Darryl Kay doing his best to keep warm. It is one of those nights here in the northeast. And O'Brien gets us back underway again. Low kick. It's trapped underfoot by Hardcastle. He sends Rennie running back and rolling back. And I tell you what, he's a big fella. He's also pretty mobile as well, and he got a good 30 metres from his own end there. Simons down the right hand side uses Alforts, who scored one of the Thunder tries in the second half, and he's won a penalty there as Alforts. Referee having a chat here with Jordan Hill, also Scott O'Brien. Current scoreline 30 points to 8.
And claim your prize right away. On the right, 265.
Patterson has returned to the field. And I noticed that Josh Kittrick has gone on as well. He played at Doncaster last season. Hardcastle boots the ball into touch. He's a good touch finder as well. Puts Thunder inside the 22. Patterson will tap and he'll surge on. And the Leigh Miners Rangers defence just caught holding back there for a second. Simons at dummy half. Infield to Clark. Clark picked his gap. Tries to forge his way through. Manages to smuggle the ball out. It's then slipped out to the right hand side. It's Brown. Brown getting between defenders. Can Leigh Miners Rangers hold him up? They do. That's some great defence on the goal line. And Jordan Hill is injured in the middle of the field there. So Joe Brown held up after 56 minutes. Jordan Hill, the man who's injured in the middle. Good defence there from Leigh Miners Rangers to hold the Jamaican international up. Maybe better defence on the tackle before, when it took 4 of them to stop an on-rushing Clark and prevent him from going over the try line. Reece Clark only scored 3 tries all last season, but certainly looks set for one there. Danger hasn't gone away though. While Hill's receiving a bit of attention and trying to get his wind back. Play goes on. Into the middle it comes with Hardcastle. It's juggled by Kittrick, but he's able to pick it up and attacks the Miners Rangers defence, where he's 12 metres from the try line. In at dummy half is Simon. Simon sends it left. Hardcastle. Out to Rudiger. Rudiger 2 metres from that try line, so it looks a handful. I think he'll go well at League One this season. Kittrick drops it back. These guys past there for Reece Clark to charge onto. And the 5 metres from the try line here. Was that juggled? Hardcastle, he's not hanging around. He tries to dummy his way over. And that's some great defence from Leigh Miners Rangers. They're trying to get a player on a Leigh Miners Rangers. Jordan Hill's off at the back. But they're actually defending that set of 6 then. For about 3 tackles of that set. Now they're struggling to bring it away from their own end here, Leigh Miners Rangers. Scott O'Brien's moved into dummy half. Sends it right and Andrew Groves is there. Groves, body checked into the floor by 2. 30 points to 8 is the scoreline here at Kingston Park in favour of the hosts, as Tom Fannyman wriggles his way forward for another couple of metres, but they're just 25 away from their own line at the moment here. O'Brien delays his pass and sends Parkinson steaming through a hole. He's over the halfway line. Parkinson moves it out wide. It's bounced up for Gittins. Was that knocked on by someone else in the first place? It was. The touch judge has spotted it. He's given the scrum in favour of Leigh Miners Rangers. But I tell you what, Tommy Parkinson striding through a huge gap there. Look, every inch of league or championship second row there. He's a real asset to the Leigh Miners Rangers. Certainly having another big game this evening. Thunder just checking on the fitness of their halfback Hardcastle. O'Brien wants to feed the scrum. Fannyman has it, sends it out the back to Martin Gray. He in turn finds Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe runs across field, tries to hunt an opening. Half gets there as well. Scrappy play the ball. Touch judge has spotted a knock on there, but he said there's hands in. So the touch judge goes on to put the referee right, and a penalty will go the way of Leigh Miners Rangers. The third of the half. Tap taken. Forward comes Boer. Boer over the 20 metre line. Right in front of the post, Leigh Miners Rangers. Good options to the left. That's where it comes. Out the back, using Nicholson. And Groves, and here's Parkinson trying to burst his way through. Already scored 1 try this second half for Leigh Miners Rangers. He stopped about 8 metres shy of that line. It comes right with Gray. Gray just swaps it and drops it back to Darryl Kay, who in turn finds Farrimond, who brings it right to Mick O'Boyle. Mick O'Boyle takes the big tackle, and he's 7 metres away from the try line. Farrimond moves it right to O'Brien. Scott O'Brien twisting, turning, ducking, diving. He's got to the try line, and he's just about held up there by Rudiger. I don't know how he managed to make that stop there, but Rudiger manages to stop him from going over. Here's Mark Nicholson trying his level best to get over the try line, and the post was an extra defender there. Farrimond juggles. Farrimond tries to take it in himself, and Farrimond is caught. So it's the last tackle. And it'll be a turnover, so Thunder have managed to survive on that occasion. 30 points to 8 here. Miners Rangers hunting the error. 6 tries scored this evening for Newcastle Thunder. Rennie on Alford scoring the 2 in the second half. Still they're in possession, and Newcastle Thunder just over their own 22 metre line. Clark is the man at dummy half. Takes it left. And that's where he's rounded up as well. Quick play the ball. Good tackle there on Simons. Kittrick at dummy half. Just kicks it downfield. Keeps him moving. Groves gets across, stops it with his foot. Picks up and charges back into contact and into the middle of the field. Half got round Rudiger, but couldn't escape the clutches there of Reece Clark. Nice quick play of the ball. I think that was Martin Gray escaping for a few metres there. Did really well there. In fact, he wasn't, it was Gittins. Now charging through is Harry Gagan. Gagan, 35 metres from his own line. Miners bring it through the middle again, through Darryl Kay. Kay put down before the halfway line. Farrimond brings it to the right hand side to Mick O'Boyle. Good running, twisting into a hole. He's still going, Mick O'Boyle. Made a good 15, 16 metres surging down that right hand side, and they've got to the end of their set. So it's in the arms now of O'Brien, who punts it high. He's not got much depth on it. Rudiger's going to come for it. He's taken in by Miners. The ball's still alive and slipped through, but eventually dropped on there by a thankful Thunder hand. I think it might have been Kittrick who saved the day there for Newcastle Thunder. The ball was breaking anywhere. And now they've won a penalty of Thunder. 9 penalties to 6 now in favour of Thunder, who lead on the scoreboard by 30 points to 8. So with that penalty, they'll go inside the minus half the field. That's where it's tapped by Parker. They didn't really look ready for it too much at the time, but Sam luckily manages to make some ground downfield. And now it's Parker running strongly like he has done throughout this game, up to the 22. Referee tells him to get up. It comes to the middle with Luckley. Luckley plays it off to Kittrick. Good defence there from Martin Gray. Wrapped him up and put him down. Across right it's moved with Hardcastle though, out to Rudiger. Long ball down the right hand side. It was a little bit too smart for Brown. Good play there from Rudiger actually. He has impressed me as the Australian fullback and certainly looks like he'll be an asset to this Newcastle Thunder club. You've had to work hard this evening for all the points that they've scored. 6 tries scored by Thunder this evening from Rudiger, Alforts, Rennie, Aldous, Simons and Welsh. 2 tries scored by Leigh Miners Rangers as well, Jordan Hill and Tommy Parkinson. It's Miners Rangers are in position now, 15 metres from their own line, and the quick off the marks there are Thunder. Conor Ratcliffe doing well to escape outside his own 20 there. Good running. Now O'Brien brings it left. Farrimond, onto the number 4, Leigh Gittins. Gittins almost has the ball snatched from him. Here's Parkinson, out to Farrimond. Farrimond was just caught. Good tackle on him by Alforts. They're on the halfway line here at Leigh Miners Rangers, trying to play a bit of ball in hand, but they're going backwards. It's Mick O'Brien who has it. Over on the right, up, converge well, and it's the last tackle. Here's O'Brien, kicks it forward. Gagan's after it. Oh, it just wouldn't sit up for Harry Gagan. And a penalty will go the way of Leigh Miners Rangers. Bowled over was Harry Gagan as he was chasing through. So Miners Rangers with their 4th penalty of the half. 30 points to 8 is the score. 2 tries scored this second half for Leigh Miners Rangers through Jordan Hill and Tommy Parkinson. Miners Rangers trailed by 20 points to 0 at half time. Jordan Hill taps it. Forward comes Mark Nicholson. Good run from Nicholson as well. Inside the 20 metre line he goes. He's about 5 or 6 metres away from the touchline over on the right hand side. Ball will come to the middle. Martin Gray, but it's a bit of footwork. Still manages to stride his way forward. He's only a couple of metres shy of the try line, you know. Jordan Hill moves it left. Nicholson plays it back to O'Brien. O'Brien ducks back to the right. Skips past 2. Skips past the 3rd. He's going for that try line. He slipped the ball out. There's going to be a try in the corner there for Leigh Miners Rangers. Some amazing handling. And they've scored over on that far right hand side. I think it might have been Harry Gagan who's finished it off, or even... yeah, Harry Gagan it was who's managed to sneak his way in, I think. But that's lovely stuff from Leigh Miners Rangers. They really have thrown the ball about in the second half.
Try for the Leigh Miners Rangers, scored by number 5, Harry Gagan.
So Harry Gagan, the man slipping through the defence. Lovely work from Scott O'Brien. Well, he seemed to have him on a sixpence and all wrapped up, and suddenly O'Brien pops up with a ball from nowhere.
It's good that one. It flicked it up. It was good. He actually is looking at us. I would rather have people training Jason.
So that moves Leigh Miners Rangers into double figures in this game, 30 points to 12 with the kick to come. So Scott O'Brien taking his time, kicks it against the teeth of the breeze, doesn't quite get enough behind it, and the scoreline remains 30 points to 12 here at Kingston Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Kingston Park, Leigh Miners Rangers 12, Newcastle Thunder 30. Ladies and gents, let's warm things up, make some noise for your Newcastle Thunder!
So 30 points to 12, last 12 minutes of the game. Can Miners Rangers come back with even more respectability? The ball's gone high from Newcastle Thunder, straight down the middle of the ground. Underneath it was O'Brien. Did well to get it in, then he picks up and scurries forward for about 5 or 6 metres before somebody clatters in. It's Kittrick. Now Gagan runs forward to get beyond that 20.
The first game, the season opener against North Wales Crusaders.
I tell you what, they really have acquitted themselves well this second half, Leigh Miners Rangers, who are currently 30 metres away from their own line and working their way forward through Gray, who works it out to O'Brien, who puts it left to Farriman. Farriman dummies, sets off, takes on Patterson. Patterson brings him down on his own 40 metre line. Hill moves it right to Darrell Kay. Kay wins a penalty. O'Brien boots the ball to touch, and it's a good touch finder as well. Gets up to the 22. There's every chance Leigh Miners Rangers could come back with more points here. They've certainly picked up the pace of this game in the second half. Forward charges Darrell Kay. He manages to get the ball back to Hill, and Jordan Hill is put down 15 metres from the try line over on this left hand side of the field. Gittins to his right hand side. Finds Mark Nicholson, who's been very good since going back onto the field for this second stint. Hill. Oh, he couldn't move the ball to the right hand side because Nicholson was deemed to have knocked on from dummy half. 10 minutes to go here, 30 points to 12 in favour of the hosts. So Newcastle have the ball. It's with Fox attacking from the base of the scrum. Well tackled too by Mick O'Boyle and Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe involved again as Parker standing tall, gaining some yards down that left hand side. He's hurt himself there as Parker. Would be a shame if he can't continue. He's been certainly a bit of a strike weapon down that left hand side for Newcastle Thunder. This has been an infinitely better second half to the first. Going in to check on the fitness there of Parker. It's not looking good for Parker at the moment. He's prone on the deck. So thankfully Parker is going to be okay to continue. The medical crews have worked their magic there on Dan Parker. He acknowledges the referee and the fact that it was a good tackle on him and plays the ball, albeit gingerly. That break in play has just allowed a few people to get a second win back, and I noticed that Craig Cooker slipped back out there for the Thunder. Kittrick moves it to the middle and Simons, who then picks up an additional runner in Sam Luckley. 30 points to 12 the score. Thunder are going to win tonight. Is it high and handsome though? Certainly that's a good kick out to the wing there. The kick came in over the head of Chris Mayron, who chased back just to shadow the ball. So the scrum is formed on the 20-metre line as far as Leigh Miners Rangers are concerned. The back in possession is Connor Ratcliffe, looking to scatter them from the right centre position. Plays it on the 22. O'Brien moves it back to the middle. Good defence there, and Gary Gittins. Equally strong serves though from the big fella. Here's Martin Gray, works his way to the 40-metre line. Can they get down? It's Jordan Hill. Jordan Hill pushes away from 2, gets away from a 3rd. Eventually wrestled to a turf. Good tackle there from Patterson in the end. On the left it's moved to Farrimond. He puts his kick low. Oh, and suddenly it bounces up just in favour of Alforts. Alforts has spotted a gap. He's certainly strong, he's certainly quick, and he's over the halfway line. And the defence eventually closed in on him, so Mark Nicholson brings him to ground, but Brown has picked up and sent it left, looking for Peter Fox. Fox trying to outflank the Miners' defence, but Nicholson is back to bring him to the deck. 7 minutes to go in this game. 30 points to 12 in favour of the Newcastle Thunder side. Miners have certainly had the bit amongst the teeth this second half though. They trailed by 20 points to 0 at half time and have really come back. Well, that's a good ball to Simons. Simons in a hole. Simons taking on Groves. And has he double movement there? Well, Groves thoughts that he got him. Referee has none of it. And the try is awarded. Groves actually simulates what he did. But it's a try for Thunder. Tell you what, a bit of outstanding pace in the middle of the field there from Evan Simons.
It's a try scorer for the Newcastle Thunder, number 25, Evan Simons!
Dash through the middle of the field there. Finished off from about 20 metres, but yeah, I think that certainly Andrew Groves has a case there. Seems to be a double movement. So 34 points to 12. Kick to come from Hardcastle. 3 from 6. From a boot to the former Hunslet man. Make that 4 from 7. Straight between the uprights.
Trying to by 23, Ben Hardcastle.
So 36 points to 12. So O'Brien's on the halfway line for Leigh Miners Rangers. Sends it high. Oh, well taken there as well. That was excellent work from Leigh Gittins to get underneath it. Miners Rangers have the ball back. Here's Dalkay running for a gap. Running for the middle. He's off down the middle. He's inside the 22 and he's put down about 15 out from the try line. Hill moves it right. It's further wide with O'Brien. And on to Connor Ratcliffe there, who has the ball ripped from his grasp. Was it not 2-on-1 there? Referee is deemed a knock-on. He was waving play on all over the shop at the minute. And then he looked up at the touch judge, and the touch judge was ruling something else. So we'll come back for an infringement. 36 points to 12 here at Kingston Park. Cold February evening in the IPRO Sports Cup. And Thunder are going to come out of it with a victory and head towards the next round. Rudiger picks it up from the base of the scrum. Launches Fox at the defence. Here's Rudiger again. Rudiger rolled over on his back. Inside his own 22.
after today's game.
Now Clark slips the ball out. Forward pass though from Reece Clark. So good defence, pushing up from the inside from Leigh Miners Rangers, eventually forced that error. Can Miners Rangers come up with a fourth try that their efforts duly deserve this second half? Scrum is fed, ball comes out to the base. There's Tom Farryman driving strongly, as he has done for most of this game. Plays it to Hill. Now it's with Leigh Gittins. He knew he was going to get smashed as soon as he got it. Tries to win the penalty of Patterson.
Ladies and gents, today's man of the match.
Forward crash from the Miners Rangers. Gary Gittins. 12 metres out from the try line. Here's Hill. Links with Farryman. Farryman double pumps it. Eventually finds O'Brien. He plays it out to Groves. He's out with Gagan, and Gagan is tackled into touch. Some good work down that side there by Peter Fox. Fox with a massive tackle there. So no way around for Harry Gagan on that occasion. Somebody said something out of turn at the scrum. And it's going to be a penalty in favour of Newcastle. 10th penalty of the game coming up for the hosts, who burrow the ball into touch. And will start as a tap 30 metres from their own line. Tap taken by Parker. Parker takes it down that left hand side. Finds a supporting runner. Across to the middle it comes with local youngster Luckley. Ball goes loose. Kittrick has put it down. Oh, that was knocked on by Kittrick. Referee is just worth play on. I can't believe that. Right in front of him that happened. And Thunder flooding forward now through Hardcastle. Out to the right. Alfords gets inside the 20. It's a head clash there. Tom Farryman is down for Leigh Miners. Thankfully he's up on his feet. Gets back in position. Craig Cook at dummy half. Passes to the middle and Hardcastle. Little intricate move there with Patterson. Patterson flicks the ball out. Got the Leigh Miners coaching staff to be left hand side shouting it was an obstruction and they possibly had a case there, but the tackle count goes on. Craig Cook at dummy half sends it left. Here's Simons, plays it at the front man, which was Luckley. Ball went loose though from Luckley's grasp and it was a knock on. So although Simons thinks that he's going to score that trick, it's not happening. And it's going to be a scrum in favour of Leigh Miners Rangers. Into time at the end of this game now. 36 points to 12 is the score. Leigh Miners Rangers dipping out to the IPRO Sports Cup at the first round stage to Newcastle Thunder. They've done well this second half though, Leigh Miners Rangers. Much better second half than first. And here's Dale Kay leading from the front, charging forward, trying to make that 20 metre line. Plays it in midfield to Hill, and there's Parkinson. Outstanding performance from Tommy Parkinson and a try to boot as well. Next the run comes in from Mayron, and Mayron is tackled on his own 40 metre line. The hooter sounds to bring an end to the game, and it's Newcastle Thunder who march on in the IPRO Sports Cup with a round 1 36-12 victory in the end. They scored 7 tries in total. Rudiger with 1, Alfords with 1, Vincent Rennie with 1, Harry Aldous and Fran Welsh with 1 each, Evan Simons with 2, 4 goals from the boot of Ben Hardcastle. Leigh Miners Rangers, they've been plucky visitors this afternoon to Kingston Park. They've scored 3 tries of their own, all coming in the second half through Jordan Hill, Tommy Parkinson and Harry Gagan. But it's Leigh Miners Rangers who dip out to the IPRO Sports Cup at the first round stage, losing here at Kingston Park by 36 points to 12. This is Dave Parkinson on behalf of Mixler.com/Leigh Centurions and Leigh Miners Rangers TV signing out.